Hey everyone, and welcome to IG8Live Esports. This evening we're live with Next Level Racing League for round 9 of 22 for the Monaco Grand Prix. One of the most interesting races that usually we have on the Formula 1 calendar for a season. So getting started with our short qualifying session here already. Sorry for the bit of late getting on the session there, guys, for a few minutes. But we have no lap times in as yet, so hopefully we didn't miss anything fun with that. So we got 18 drivers on the grid. Already got a bunch of cars out on track here trying to get our lap times in. So let's have a look and see how this session is currently going on. We're going to go through the grid in just a bit, in just a few minutes or so. Let's have a look and make sure everything's okay on our streams and yeah, let's just make sure everything's good on track here as well. So I think I got a good mix of drivers. I'm just going to have a look in just a bit to see if any new names are wrong on the grid distance. We've last done a stream around here for Next Level Racing League, but so far so good with that. And I see you guys seem to be getting our way pretty well on track, and we'll see how well that's going to be going here in terms of the competitiveness of the lap times that we're going to start to see here on track in just a bit as well, because I think it's going to get quite interesting, especially coming down to the end of this qualifying session, just to see how well these guys are going to be performing in terms of the lap times and so we're going to start to have our first round of lap times start to come in. We're going to see what sort of qualifying times we're looking at, and so far we got Thunderbills with a 110.8. Let's see how well that is going to hold up, as we're going to have some more drivers start to come in here pretty soon. I think Codfish might be getting across the line here he's going back into the pits, not getting across the line as yet. Still get a few more drivers running on track. And there we go. We do have some more time coming in. King Crab going faster a bit there now, about 7/10 faster, 110.1. So really not too bad of a time. Then Vedler going 111.4. Slowpoke goes 112.3. So we're getting a bit of a different range of time as we have the time start to come in. We got 20 Boy Santich running around track here still as yet. Let's see where these guys are going to go as soon as they get across the line. Should be interesting with the lap times, hopefully, because we're looking forward to a very competitive grid getting into this race, and we'll see how it's gonna go, because we do it well. Usually everyone expects a safety car or two, maybe a VSC or two happening during the Monaco Grand Prix, as a tight circuit that usually they have to drive around. It's very difficult here with the barriers so close off, and really not much room, especially to get overtakes done. It's going to be very, very difficult in terms of that. So we'll see how well the cars get through as we continue on through the session here. So if you hear me a little bit of weird, guys, I'm just moving away from the mic for just a second, just to make sure everything is good on our streams end. And let me just have a look, make sure everything's on. So far so good. I think we are here. We got a few more lap times coming in as well. Forgot to check my mic settings, but I think we're good. Yeah, so far King Crab still holds on to the fastest lap time in this session on 110.1. Let's see who else is running on track here right now. Quite a few more drivers out already on their out laps. We got Ethan now going second fastest in the session at 110.7. Looking good for probably starting second on the grid. Thunderbills down to third so far as we have it there. Then we got 20 Boy down to fourth, Santi down to fifth, Vettel in sixth. We got Slowpoke down to seventh to this time. Sanders 112.6 goes down to eighth. That's the slowest time we have so far, but I'm quite sure everything's going to be changing in just a bit as these guys continue to race around the track here just to try and get a time in, because they're trying as much as they can to avoid the barriers and avoid damaging those front wings on the cars, just to make sure they can get a good qualifying time in just without actually invalidating the lap here, which is a bit difficult to do sometimes depending on how your race is going. So let's see how they're gonna be doing with that. Apologies about that, guys. Let's see what else is happening. So about half of the grid at least have their time in so far, and it's been about getting about halfway down to the session. Still got just a bit over halfway of time. Just about 10.5 minutes left in the qualifying session. Really not a lot of time to work with here at Monaco, especially with the way the track is. Very narrow, so these guys have to get a move on, as we saw cars getting out very, very early on in the session. So everyone definitely trying to get their time in as fast as they can here. So let's have a look who else is running. We got Virex here in the Renault. He's still running a hot lap. Let's see if he's able to get a good time in. Our time currently ranges from about a 110 going down to a 113 as the slowest time with Arxie there. And I think Arxie might try to get a faster time in as well. We've seen him race before, and I'm quite sure he can get a better time than that. Probably get into the 112s, low 112s, or maybe even into a 111, but I think he might be able to do that. So let's just give him a chance on that and see what he's done. But currently we're following on with Virex here, and a new name, at least from me, and a few other new names in the grid there as well. So we're gonna see how well these guys perform, and yeah, hopefully they have a good race here today, because we're looking forward to quite an interesting race start as well. Hopefully we can have a clean race start. We've seen many clean race starts here before at Monaco, and sometimes it does get a bit messy depending on what happens, but incidents do tend to happen sometimes. Of course, we do have race stores to look into these kind of situations, but we'll see how well the guys get away on the opening lap when we do get to that point, yeah, which will be very soon actually. That's Virex up into P6 so far for the start of this race. 111.1, really not too bad of a time. But we're looking at some pretty interesting lap times for those 110s. We got 4 cars into it there, 4 very familiar drivers as well. We got King Corp holding on to fastest time still. He's going to get her back and try to improve that time, because Ethan there is in second on that grid there right now, currently with a 110.7. He was only 6/10 off of King Corp's time, and really he could end up potentially getting past that with another lap out. And he's already on another outlap. Thunderbill is here on an outlap as well, and he's currently with a 110.8, only 1/10 off of the time of Ethan did. So definitely, oh, and almost getting into the way of that Mercedes there. So definitely a good tender to getting on for P1 here as well. I'm gonna go down back to the rest of the grid and let's have a look. We got Quinn all the way down the back of the grid driving the Williams there. Let's see how his lap is going. Seems to be in a bit of traffic here as well, and he's running behind Thunderbills. Let's see if he's going to be held up in any way or not. I'm not sure, because remember the circuit is very tight, guys. It is going to be getting a bit busy from time to time, so the driver is going to have to be careful in terms of what sort of traffic they're running behind and when trying to do a lap here, and it can sometimes get a bit frustrating as well. So these guys do have to be as careful as they can. Let's get back on the overhead view and have a look and see. I think, yep, there he goes, P11. That's 111.9. Really not too bad of a time, I'll say. We're getting a little bit more competitive in terms of the 111s we're seeing on track here right now, which is going to make it a bit interesting for a race start, because that's going to be mostly where our midfield cars are going to be. I think our front runners are going to be up in that 110, and it's a potential that we might be able to see a 109 on this track here during this qualifying session. I think it would be much of a higher chance if we were doing a full qualifying session, but with the short qualifying session there's only so much time that the guys have to just work with on track, so they do have to just take that into consideration and just work with that in the meanwhile. So let's see what's going to happen by the time we finish off this qualifying session here right now. Okay, so far I think we're running pretty well. We got just a few drivers not with times in as yet. We're going down to C here at the moment, Mr. C08. We got Vic and Minimir out of this qualifying session. Unfortunately for the two, then they were not able to make a time, which sometimes does happen when qualifying session at Monaco. It's very difficult sometimes with drivers trying to make a time in here, so we're just gonna have to hope that he can perform and just make that up during the race session when we do get to that point. So C's on an outlap here right now, should be getting a time in pretty soon, but does need to get started on a lap. See, Coffee just went back into the pits. Let's have a look out front. What's happening there right now? Is Ethan on another lap? No, he's going back into the pits there at the moment. And I think so might be turning the wheels here. Yep, he is going back into the pits as well. Santi out of the session, but did a 110.8 before getting off of this session. So still a pretty good time, and I think that's going to hold him up for a very good qualifying lap out there as well. So let's see how that's going to go. And I think I'm just trying to have a look at something here. Where is Kirby on track? So he's 11. Kirby's currently 11 to this one, 11.5. Just gonna have a look and see if he's trying to get another lap. Nope, he's not as yet. And KTFO currently running through the tunnel section here right now. So I think we're coming very close after the end at the moment. So just have a look what's going to be changing. Oh, and Marcus now goes up into P3 at 110.7. Goes a 10 faster than Thunderbills, and Ethan did improve his time down to a 110.2. I did miss that a second there. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see, because Ethan is now only a 10th off from King Curb there. Pretty close off to getting past his time, and we still got 4 minutes left in quali here, so might end up quite interesting. As you know, some qualifying sessions tend to get very competitive down in the last 2 minutes, where everyone does get back out for one last go at a lap, and we usually have quite a change up happening on the grid as we get on through with that session. So let's see what's going to happen as we get on through with that, because I think it's going to be a bit interesting in terms of some of these positions might be changing around. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that and see how that's going to be working. Okay, so let's see where we stand here right now. Who else is currently running track? Going back out in front, I want to have a look if Ethan is going to try to beat the time of King Corp at the moment, because this is going to be what's going to be interesting at the end. I didn't see King Corp get back out on track as yet, but Ethan is on another hot lap going on. I'll stay on board for just a bit here and see how he performs on this lap currently that he has. Actually, let's have a look at tires, what they are right now. Actually, I think I'm going to keep it on best to see what we're looking at here at the moment. So if I did run on the soft tires just to get this done, trying to get the best possible time in. So I'll take that off back for now, and that's going to be, I think Ethan is now going to try get one final lap in here, and we got King Corp on an out lap, so he is going to try for one more goal, knowing that Ethan and Marcus are both out on track trying to improve their time, so he's not taking any chances with this. Doesn't want to lose out on a provisional pole start here for the Monaco Grand Prix, and is going to push on through as much as he can. So let's see what sort of time he's going to be coming back in with. If he's able to improve on this 110.1, might actually have to push it over to a 109 just to make sure he keeps provisional pole start for this race. But it's going to be quite interesting to see how that works out as well. Okay, so right down to the end of this qualifying session, let's see if anything has changed. So Banter Braden joined onto the session there. He's got a 110.5, pretty late entry, and still got quite an interesting time in, and got all the way up into P3 for the start of this race. So looking pretty good out front. As I said, the front of the grid in the 110s. Definitely going to be quite a bit interesting to see how they work out. And in the midfield, we got all of those 111s. Definitely going to be interesting to see how they work out as well. And unfortunately, Ethan just telling us that he missed out on his final lap. Potentially, who would have been able to possibly get ahead of King Corp, or at least maybe get a tenth more, being like just right, or maybe by 100 or 200 of a second difference would have been. I think he would have gotten a faster time, but unfortunate for that. But let's see what's happening. Who else is currently running on track? So it looks like Thunderbills is still running on track here, and I think we might have one more driver. That's KTF, who are probably still running down in the back there. 4 drivers, unfortunately. Sorry, 3 drivers down in the back. Unfortunately, did not get to set a time. C there, still running a lap though. He still potentially could get one final lap time in here. Let's see how this is going to work, if potentially he's going to get a time. That's a 110 for Thunderbills. I think he's going to be starting right there in P4. So let's have a look at our qualifying results here, guys, for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. Should be quite an interesting session, as I expect from every league that's done a Monaco Grand Prix. It's always been an interesting session either way. Let's have a look at it. So, on the front row, we got King Kirby, and McLaren is going to start P1 in this race. Ethan starting just alongside him there on second on the grid in the Mercedes. And then third, we do have a Renault, a VRX, now up there, who got final lap in. As I said, things do change at the end of the qualifying session. Thunderbilt starting P4, Banter Braden starting P5, Marcus 6, Santi 7, Quinn 8, 20.9, 9, Sanders 10, Vettel 11, Kirby 12, KTF 4, 13. And we're going to have a look at our full grid as we get to the starting grid here right now. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what our restart is about to look like. We know the group of cars out in front of the grid are very close off together in terms of lap times. They're going to be fighting it off a bit in terms of going through turn 1. The midfield definitely going to get a little bit bunched up as we start to get on through with that as well. We're going to see how close up that's going to be. Definitely, we do expect cars are going to have contact with each other. There might be some damaged front wings. There's definitely going to be debris left on track. It could potentially result in a safety car at the start of this race, or even just a VSC. But we'll see how that goes. If it's a VSC or if a safety car does happen, it will definitely put a pause on any current battles happening on track, for at least for that opening lap. So we're going to see how it goes. Hopefully, it goes off smoothly for everyone and they do get through pretty well. But even if the first lap goes off pretty well, we do expect there definitely will be a safety car or VST at some point in the race. It does always tend to happen. I don't think I've ever done a Monaco Grand Prix stream while I'm doing this. I've never done one that we've never had a VSC or safety car in the Monaco Grand Prix. It's always been one in every single stream. So something does always tend to happen, depending on just how your race is going. But let's see, we're about to get to the start here right now, and let's see if Ethan is going to get a good run out front there with King Curb, and let's have a look on board with him as they go there right now. It seems to get away pretty well. Let's have a look at the entire grid as they get on through, and so far so good getting through turn 1. I don't see any major incidents as we're trying to have a look at the midfield of the grid as they get on through. Quinn trying to get past Marcus, his own teammate there, so they're still fighting it off with each other as they get on through. Positions are critical at this point again in the race as everyone goes through. I'm going to leave that in position change. Let's have a look at what happened in terms of that there. So as you can see, everyone getting through here. And both Williams, as you see, the Williams are fighting for position. So they are racing each other at this point here right now. Again, to the Red Bull down at the back there. I think of Vic is trying to push on through as well. Everyone trying to fight for a position on the opening lap because they know it's going to be very, very difficult to overtake as we get further on into this race right now. So going down here to Kirby. Let's have a look where he is on the grid. So I think everyone got through pretty well. We still have all 20 drivers on the grid still running. And we got a bit of an incident down here by the exit of the tunnel section. And we got caught with a bit of incident. Damaged front wing. A Ferrari just went by with a damaged front wing as well. So definitely a lot of debris on track. This might potentially result in a VSC. I'm not sure yet, but there's a lot of debris on track at the moment. Going back out front, there's a 1.8 second gap between King Curb and Ethan there, who are currently now running. VRX still running P3 there right now. Banter Braden now P4. Thunderbilt is down to 5th at the moment. Marcus still running 6th. Quinn is up to 7. Sanders up to 8. Santi down 2 positions to 9. Kirby down up to 10th at the moment. Vic running 11. So still quite a bit of incidents down at the back of the grid there with quite a few cars. And they're into the pits right now, getting their pit stops. getting some new front wings on and a change of tires as they have to at no choice at this point here. So let's see what's happening with the rest of the grid as we have it here. So we know our top 10 started on soft tires as it was there. Vettel all the way down to 18th on the grid. And let's have a look what everyone else is getting through here at the moment. We're going down to the midfield of the grid here right now, having a look at Marcus. Both Williams, as we said, the Williams seem to have been racing each other from the start of this race. So Marcus and Quinn here, they were fighting it out for positions as they got through the opening lap. So far, so good as everyone else is getting through though. Carfish, unfortunately, out of this race. I think he retired in the pits. He took some severe damage on that front wing, getting off of the turn after the tunnel section there. So I think his race definitely is over. He's retired off of the session. I think he did it in the pits. So just to keep that clear on track. King Cup now getting the fastest lap. That might be switched around a little bit further on into the session. We got DRS on a line already here. Hopefully that is correct with the graphic on screen. We didn't pay attention if you're already on lap 3 and going through. We got the Williams of Quinn. Both Williams going side by side here right now. And a bit of incident here right now with Quinn. A contact with his teammate Marcus out front has led to him into the barriers at the side. We got a safety car right now. Some incident with VKTFO down in the back. Let's see what's happening there. VTKFO had some sort of incident. I don't think we'll be able to see what exactly happened down in the back with him. But definitely, as you said, these incidents do tend to come about at some point in the race session. So first safety car of the race on lap 3 right now of 39 and going through. So let's see how the rest of the grid will get on through this. We got 20 Boy and Vettel back into the pits down in the back there. So some sort of incident has happened there. They're changing back front wings, I assume. Where is Vettel? Getting out of the pits there right now. So that safety car is going to go on for just a bit for now at least. We're going down here with VREX, currently right up to the rear of Ethan's car, but of course under the safety car. So of course no overtaking at this point here right now. We're going to continue on with the race for at least for now, see what's going to happen in terms of pit stops. So we got Ethan going into the pits. I don't think King Kurt pitted. He did not pit. He continued on. Hey Seth, thank you for joining on the stream. How are you doing, mate? And yep, King Kirk did not do a pit stop on this occasion here. Banter Braden there didn't do a pit stop either. Thunderbills, neither did he do a pit stop. Sanders, he stayed out as well. Kirby stayed out. Vic stayed out. So I think from Marcus going down, because Minimir has gone up to 7, Vic up to 6. So quite a change happening on the grid right now. Of course, this is all going to be quite... and yeah, I think you are right, Seb. It is usually the first 7 to 8 laps that's usually where we do have the safety car phase happening, and after that the race tends to go a bit more smoothly, getting on through to the end of the session. So I think something just said safety car in on the end of this lap. I'm not even sure what's saying at the bottom of the screen. I really didn't pay attention to it, but let's see if the safety car is going to go in anytime soon or not. So yeah, we've had quite a number of pit stops. We got some penalties already being handed out to drivers in the session as we have it here. We're going to follow on board with King Car here right now to have a look if the safety car is going in there or not, and know if we're about to get back racing here. But so far so good in the session as we have it. We only lost 2 drivers. It could have been so much more worse than that, as we've seen some of these races before. What tends to happen, I've seen races at Monaco here that have lost close to half of the grid within the first 4 laps before. So this is actually quite an improvement from what we're seeing here right now. Just 2 drivers out. Things like this sort of situation would be expected here at Monaco. First at least quarter of the race. So let's see how the rest of the race is going to get on through. We should be able to get on through. Probably once more less cars are on track. I guess that tends to happen. Well, we did start with quite a full grid there. Full grid of 20 cars, and now we're down to 18, which is really not so bad at all. Everyone else seems to be getting through pretty well. We had a bunch of pit stops happening, especially with all of the guys, some of the guys out in front, except for King Curb there. The race leader did not pit under the safety car from Ethan, and a few cars behind of him did pit. Ethan is back out on track, and he's currently into 10th here right now. Now what's going to be interesting is that he's on fresh soft tires, and he's running just behind of Marcus here right now. Of course, Marcus on very fresh mediums there as well. So we're going to see how this changes the aspect of the race in terms of race strategy with our drivers here. Remember, they do have to take safety cars into account when they're planning a race strategy for the Monaco Grand Prix. Always have to do that. You gotta take into account safety cars and VSCs for a race like this. You can never just enter the Monaco Grand Prix hoping to run a regular strategy. Even if you're running out front leading the race, something does tend to happen from time to time. We've seen race leaders do quite a lot of different stuff. They're running with a lot of free air out in front, with even a gap of 5 or 6 seconds between them and the guy running in second. And still, they sometimes make a mistake and chip off a piece of their front wing, just sometimes even an end plate, but does affect the performance of the car severely when that does happen. Let's go back out in front here for now. Just follow on behind that safety car, see what's happening on King Curb's end there. So yeah, that does tend to happen sometimes, and I've seen drivers they've driven this track with a lot of damage on their car, and we do have one of them here. That's Mr. Eaton there in 10th. I've seen him drive the Monaco Grand Prix with both end plates missing off of his front wing. I think that was in a PGL race. I think it was. I can't remember which league it was. I think it was in PGL he did it. He drove a race around here with both end plates missing on that front wing, and still was gaining time in the car in front and just creating an even bigger gap on the car behind, and he was running, I think, on the podium in that race as well. So that was quite an exciting one. I still can't understand how he did that one, but I know he's not really telling me his secret. He's keeping that one to himself. But let's see how he's going to perform in this one here. He started second on the grid here. He's down to 10th right now after his first pit stop. And want to see how he's going to get on with the rest of the race. I think we're going to be having the safety car go in at the end of this lap here currently as we have it. So as we have the grid there right now, we have King Curb still leading the race. Banter Braden is up to second place. Turner Bayless is up to third. Sanders now running fourth. Kirby running fifth. We got Vic running 6th, Midimir running 7th, V-Rex running 8th. We got Marcus up to 9th, Ethan now running 10th, Arcene 11th, C in 12th. We got Santi there 13, Quinn in 14, 20 Boy 15. Vettel is now running 16, Slowpoke down to 17, and Black Shadow down to 18th on the grid. KTFO and Codfish are unfortunately out of this session. I'm not sure what the incident was with KTFO there. I did see what happened with Codfish. Codfish got caught coming off the exit of the tunnel section and just got spun around on his entire front wing. He is with what he lost going straight into the barrier. So that's kind of what ended off his race, and he did retire into the pits after that. So that's how his race ended there. So I think we're about, yeah, we should be entering sector 3 here very shortly, and should have a look and see if the safety car is about to go in, which it should be. And we're going to get back to racing, and let's see what's going to happen with King Kerr, Banter, Braden, and Thunder Bayless out front. There we have it. So the safety car is about to go in, and we are about to get back racing here right now. Oh guys, here we go. We're about to get back racing. They're going across the line here right now. Braden is getting a pretty good run on King Curb through that restart there, and he's going to keep that gap as close as he can as he gets through. Let's have a look at the midfield here right now. Everyone is getting through. After a safety car restart, they mostly tend to get off pretty well. V-Rex here, of course, looking for a pretty good overtake on the Alfa Romeo driver or their Minimir. Let's see if he's going to be able to get that done. He does have the Williams of Marcus just behind him. Ethan coming very close up behind in 10th as well. So this is going to be pretty close. It's going to be, and they're going to have to be extremely careful here, because remember, no room for a runoff area here at the Monaco track. So they're going to have to be very careful in terms of how close they get to a car, just to try to avoid damage. Of course, Ethan now has his teammate 20 Boy running behind of him, which I don't think I think he did do it earlier on pit stop. So we got both Mercedes running 10th and 11th at the moment. Going to be interesting. Williams have split up. We got Marcus in 10th, Quinn down to 12. So we're seeing how they're going to work out. Out in front, the gap is starting to build between Banter Braden and King Curb. 1.4 seconds already. So King Curb is getting away as fast as he can. He doesn't want to have cars behind him. Wants to run in that free air and wants to keep a gap going with the car behind of him. So Ethan is starting to lose a little bit of time right now to Marcus here, even on the soft tires, but he might be able to catch up in a bit. Let's see how that's going to work, because Marcus is a bit more focused on catching up with V-Rex out in front of him. He's trying to get that position up if he can. Down in the back, something's happening. I see a few position changes there as well. I think Ethan, Ethan does touch that wall just a bit. There's some debris on track. Hopefully he didn't get a puncture or anything from that as he got on over it. Seems to be going pretty well so far. I don't think he took any damage. Actually, I think he took some damage. I think Ethan is missing an end plate on that Mercedes. Let's have a look. I'm not getting a full-on look as yet. I'm trying to have a... Oh, yep, definitely. As we can see it a bit, as the car slows down a little bit, it's easier to see. And I think the Renault of V-Rex out front keeps losing some portions of, I don't know, some debris keeps coming off his car. That was the second time I saw a part of yellow debris flying on the track. So Ethan has lost one end plate so far. If he's having trouble driving the car, maybe he needs to lose another one and probably has a better performance that way. I'm not sure. But let's see how that was going to go for him. But still a pretty close gap he has right now to Marcus. Marcus has a very close gap going down to VREX. So let's have a look overhead with Marcus here. Let's see how that overtake is about to go, because something's about to go down. I'm not sure who's going to be the one for making an overtake for it. But Ethan does look like he is going to try to get past. Maybe on the pit straight would be a pretty good place to do it, and let's see if that's going to work for him. DRS is now back online and he's using all overtake he has, trying to catch back up. Marcus having a pretty good run on VREX out in front with the Renault there. And let's have a look up here, back here with Minimir right now, chasing after Vic for P4 in the race. Gap is getting very close down back here though with Quinn and Twinny Boy, the next Mercedes in the race. So we got Mercedes and Williams fighting it for 7th and 8th, and we got another two fighting it for 9th at the moment here. So and both battles running just behind of each other with a gap of about 1.2 seconds, I would say. So gonna be pretty interesting to see how this works out. But so far so good in this race. I think we're getting to the point where it's going pretty well, and someone's been disconnected. Oh man, I don't think I have you on as a friend, so I can't actually add you on back to the session. Unless you were on my friend list, I would have been able to just invite you back to the race session there for you to join back. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. KTFO and Codfish are out. If they're still in the lobby, they might be able to invite you back to the session there. Hopefully they can. I'm not sure yet. They're going back with Marcus here right now, chasing after that Renault. Is getting quite close between the two of them, but Ethan is coming still close behind. A very close gap with the trainer cars coming behind as well. We got Quinn also behind of Ethan. He's getting pretty close off and trying to fight for a position here. So let's see if that's working out. So it's now Marcus and VREX fighting for 6, and now we got Ethan and Quinn fighting it out for 8 here at the moment. Quinn trying to get around, and what's happening down in the back there? Williams has a bit of an incident. That is Quinn there. I think it was Quinn. No, does look no. Actually, I think that was Marcus there. So Marcus is down to 10th after trying to fight it off with VREX out in front. Did anyone take damage off of that incident that just happened there? That was just a bit of yellow flag. I think that situation is actually over with already. So Ethan here still in a battle with Quinn now for 7th place as it is now, because Marcus has fallen down a few positions after that bit of incident there, I think, with VREX. So these two are going to still fight it off. Out in front, we got King Kirby still leading this race, amazingly by 10.8 seconds against Banter Braden there, who's still running in 2nd, but Vic now running 3rd. And what's happening with the gap? He's about 2 seconds down. Minimir another 6/10ths down, just behind Vic there in P4. VREX running another 1.9 seconds. He's P5. Quinn and 20 Boy here. And what's happened to Ethan down at the back? I think he's into the pits. He might be getting a change of front wing. I see he's getting back out here. Did he change the front wing? Yep, I think he did. And he's gone onto the medium tires here right now. So forced to take a bit of a different strategy. We're going to see how that works here. Going back to Marcus there, P8, chasing after the next Mercedes there of 20 Boy. Let's see if he's able to get past that car. Of course, as we know, guys, overtaking is very, very difficult here on this track. One of the most difficult surfaces to have an overtake done on, especially if you don't have the pace to actually do it. You do have to have some practice in this aspect in terms of trying to get an overtake done here as well. So drivers do have to be very careful with that. And we do have quite a lot of penalties on track. We're going to have a look at those penalties in just a bit as well. Going back up here to Minimir at the moment, having a look what's happening with him. Running P4, just about 7/10ths behind Vic. And we do have Minimir going into the pits. So quite a few pits is happening, as well as our race leader. We got King Curb into the pits. He's getting back out on track here right now. Vic takes over the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix. And we got a safety car happening right about now. So let's see how many drivers are saving some time on that pit stop there right now, since that safety car just happened. And I'm not 100% sure what's caused that safety car as yet. But definitely some sort of incident on track down somewhere. And might be something to do with Black Shadow missing an entire front wing. We're not entirely sure as yet. So he's getting a change of fronting, and looks like he's serving a 5-second penalty with that car there as well. He's going to be getting back out. Let's have a look at a grid change up as we have it here right now. So Vic here, amazingly, has not, I don't think he's done a pit stop yet. Let's look up stuff. No, he and Artsy are the only two drivers who have not done pit stops in this race since the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. And going to position changes, he's gained 15 positions since the start of this race up to this point. So he's running quite a very interesting strategy right now, and a very good strategy at that one, I would say, in the Red Bull here. So that's going to put him quite up. Arksy there gained 9 positions as well. Not too bad at all. Minimir has gained 12 positions in the race so far. Has done a pit stop though. But still, amazingly, we got Vic and Arksy not doing any pit stops in this race so far, which means they probably did not take any damage on their car either so far as we have it. Let's have a look at penalties as it is there right now. We got V-Rex, who's currently with 11 seconds of penalties. Then we got Kirby there, 3 seconds. Thunderbill, 3 seconds. Twinny Boy, 3 seconds. C has a drive-through penalty, probably for speeding under the safety car. Then we got Vettel, 3 seconds. Slowpoke has 6 seconds. And Black Shadow does have 3 seconds. Ethan still without a penalty, but down to 17 on the grid there right now. Started second in this race. And let's see, where was our current race leader that we had before? King Corb, he's back out on track in second. So he's running a pretty good strategy as well. Not pitting under the first safety car, pitting just at the end of our, well, at the start of our second safety car. And seems to have helped him out a bit because it slowed down the entire grid behind, which was pitting at the same time. And everyone's now getting back out on track. Everyone's back out. But we do have C there, have to serve that drive-through penalty when the safety car Q is going to be over. When that safety car goes in, he's going to have to go into the pits and serve that drive-through penalty. That's going to put him down, probably down to the back of the grid, and definitely is going to hurt his race. We'll see how that works out, but unfortunate for that. So Vic here, though, is going to be the talk of the race at the moment. Has run the entire race so far without doing a pit stop. Is he going to be hoping for another safety car or a VSCB when he's ready to take his pit stop? He started the race on those medium tires, and I think he's looking to run maybe, I'm not sure how many laps he's planning to run on those tires, but let's see how that strategy is going to work for him. King Corb, though, on very fresh mediums down in the back, he's definitely going to have a good run trying to get past Vic here, but let's see how long Vic is going to be able to hold them off. It's going to be quite an interesting restart after this safety car to see how that is going to work out in terms of King Corb getting that overtake done again. Alright guys, and we're about to have the safety car go in on this lap here, guys. And guys, I didn't get to mention it at the start of the stream, but thank you guys for all of you who have joined on to the stream. Please guys, make sure you leave a like on the stream and do subscribe to the channel if you're new on here. So let's have a look at this restart right now. King Corb has about a second between him and Vic on that restart as they're going there. Banter Braid in a much closer gap to Marcus there in third. He's going to try to fight for that position. Arksy in 7th and VRX in 6th. The two of them have a very close gap as well. As Quinn gets up to 7, Arksy down to 8 already on that restart and gets through. Quite a good overtake, I think, got done at the back. I think it was without any contact as well. So let's have a look what's happening with the rest of the grid. Out in front, King Corb is gaining back some time on Vic at the moment. And we got Marcus catching up to that battle as well with the Ferrari of Banter Braden there getting very close up as well. So let's keep an eye and see how that is going to go off through, because so far so good after that restart. We still got our 18 drivers remaining in this race. And that's actually a good sign to see. We're on lap 14 of 39 right now in the Monaco Grand Prix going through. And so far it's been quite an interesting race. Gotta say, V-Rex getting very close to Minineer there for 5th position in the race. And but I keep an eyeing out front here right now. Just want to see what's going to happen here. Santi and C, something's happened down here. Ethan has got now back up to 10th in the grid already. All the way down from the bottom where he was. We got both racing points running just behind of him there, so going to be something to look up onto as well. And they're switching positions, I think. The racing point driver has switched positions. Slowpoke is up to 11, Arksy down to 12. This might be a strategy play for them. Banter Braden into the pits there, might have had some damage off of that restart. And we got Ethan very close off to Santi there in the Haas in 9th. He's trying to get up another position. He's now up to 9 because Banter Braden's pit stop there. And Arksy, I think, is in the pits there as well. Might have taken some damage when they did a switch with the racing point drivers. And we're keeping on with Ethan here right now, who has Santi just in front of him. But Santi is chasing after C there in the McLaren, trying to get past him for that position in 7th. So this is a pretty interesting one going on. Let's see who's going to keep your positions and who's gonna, if anyone's gonna take damage off of this one here, because this might get a bit ugly if anyone decides to push a little too much for an overtake here. And out in front we can see that King Curb has finally taken back the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix. That puts Vic down back into second place in the race right now. Still not a bad position. And Vettel has been disconnected from the session there, unfortunately. His car is going to be running on the AI for the time being. We're still following on with our battle down in the midfield here right now between C, Santi, Eaton, and Slowpoke trying to catch back up to this here at the moment. And DRS is now back online, so that's going to make things a little more interesting. The McLaren just went into the pits there, I think. So that's going to put Santi and Eaton up a position each, and the rest of the grid there as well as they get on through. So Santi now running about 10.8 seconds behind Quinn. That's going to leave, just make him more aware of Eaton running behind of him actually. So they're going to be fighting off for that position. On board, we're going with Eaton here right now. See how close this is going to get. I think this is one of our closest gap we have on the grid here at the moment. Half of a second between these two. And I know between Santi and Eaton, two very good drivers. So let's see how this is going to play on through, because Santi is not going to make it easy for Eaton to get by. He's really going to have to work a really good strategy out in terms of trying to get by and avoid making any potential mistakes at this point. Of course, a lot of penalties on track. We're going to have a look at these drivers and the penalties in just a bit there as well, as we're on lap 16 of 39 right now in this race and getting through. And I see Midimir, I think, is losing a few positions there. I'm not sure what's happening. So let's see if we can have a look on board Santi's car. He's now about 9.8 seconds, no, 8 seconds in front. Something's happened with Minimir. I think he's maybe have lost positions or just lost some time. I'm not sure. Let's go back down to Eaton though to see what's happening. Quinn out front and V-Rex, they're fighting it for 4th position in the race. 7/10s between the two of them as they go on through. But still, I think a much closer gap here right now with Eaton and Santi as we're following on through. We'll have to look at Quinn here right now, looking to get by V-Rex in the Renault, and he's trying to push around the outside. Not able to get us yet. Now going to take it on the inside, but is the gap going to be enough? And he's pushing still to get through, and does get on through without any damage on the car, without any contact between the two of them. But the Renault is fighting it back. V-Rex is taking back the position and has gotten contact with the wall, and I think he took some severe damage off of that there. Most of his front wing is gone, and he's definitely having some problems with that car there right now. That's going to have to be a pit stop to get that car repaired, and leaving a lot of smoke in the air, blocking up the view of the cars going behind, which is Santi and Eaton there as they're getting through that. So that's going to be Santi and Eaton getting up another position here each when V-Rex does that pit stop, because he cannot possibly drive the car with that limited amount of front wing available on. I think at least 70% of that front wing is totally gone on this car there. And I think it's fully gone now. Yep, that front wing is fully gone as he is really trying to keep that car stable, getting it back to the pits here at the moment. And on we go with Eaton and Santi here right now. They're going to continue on with their battle. They're up to 6th and 7th on the grid here right now. And I think they're going to fight it all the way back out to the front of the grid and might be fighting for a potential podium position by the end of this race. We're going to have to look at the penalties in just a bit. And that we have a virtual safety car there right now. That's going to help V-Rex's speed stop maybe just a little bit. So a virtual safety car on track right now. I'm not sure what's happened. Alright, so let's see what's been happening on track. I think I had a setting off on the mic. I think I might have actually touched that by accident, guys. Sorry about that. It should be fine here right now. I'm going. So still following on right now. I'm back racing here right now. DRS back online already as that VSC is over. Still following on with Eaton and Santi. See what's happening with the two of them. Down in the back, we do have Kirby into the pits there. And I said we're going to have a look at the penalty in just a bit. A 3-second time penalty for V-Rex as he gets out of the pits as well. Let's have a look out front, see what's happening with King Kirby and Vic here. Gap is about 5.7 seconds between these two. Of course, Vic has still not taken a pit stop as yet. Is he trying to run a one stop in this race? I'm not sure, but that strategy, whatever he's on there right now, is working pretty well for him. He's only lost back the lead of the race so far. He's in 2nd place, and Marcus behind with about 2.2 seconds, running on 15-lap old medium tires. So really not much of an advantage there for him to try and get on through. Of course, Marcus's teammate Quinn here running P4 in this race. So both Williams running pretty high up at this point, and that's going to look like some good points for that team. So Minimir running 5th, Santi and Ethan still with this gap of 7-10 between them. They're still fighting it off for that position. Currently it's position 6 there, they're fighting on through, and they've been fighting it all the way up the grid, following each other all the way through. Banter Braden here and Slowpoke not too far off from each other as well, about 8 tenths between the two of them as they continue to go on through. And then Thunderbills and Sanders just behind. 20 Boy there running in 12. We got VREX there 14th, so he's down to 14th after that pit stop of because he lost his entire front wing. Like 13th now, as it is. Black Shadow is out. Probably that's what caused the VSC. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he just retired into the pits. Either way, he's out of the session. So down to 17 drivers here right now. Let's get on back up to where our battle is here right now between Ethan and Santi. Once again, these two are still at it, and I don't think this battle is going anywhere anytime soon, unless someone gets an overtake done or someone makes a mistake at this point here right now. And both cars, I think, are running both without damage on track, so they both have full advantage against each other. Of course, Santi there doesn't have the DRS advantage that Ethan is having here on his car right now. And on board, we are Ethan to see how close he's actually able to get to Santi in the Haas, and has some great pace out front. So Ethan is having a bit of problems catching up to get a gap going. Of course, catching up is one thing here at Monaco. Getting an overtake done is totally different. Very, very difficult to get an overtake done on this track. But it is quite possible at certain points on the track. You just got to be careful with it and have a little bit of experience in terms of esports racing on this track, just to understand where you can actually get it done. Banter Braden out of the session. Let's see what's happened to his car. If we can, I'm not sure. Now, where is his car on track? I'm not sure if it's happened on track or if he's retired in the pits, but unfortunately he is out, probably retired into the pits, which is why there's no VSC for that incident there. Going back up here to Marcus right now, chasing after Vic in the Red Bull for 2nd place in the race, and he's having a pretty good go at him. Let's see if he's able to get that overtake done with. I'm just going to get on board with him just a bit. Rest of our battles are still going on track here at the moment. Quinn, his teammate, is into the pits there right now, so let's see what that's going to work out. The yellow flag down there in sector 2. Someone's gone off the track, and that is a Ferrari, I think, of Banter Braden. That's where his car is, actually. So that is where his car was. I think he missed his braking zone and ended up in the barriers down to the side. That's a little bit of a runoff area there, and that's why that, I think, well, that's what's causing a virtual safety car right now. Nope, it's actually something with VREX causing a virtual safety car on the track there right now. And that's his car. That is VREX's car into the barriers down in the back there. That's where his car is. That's what's causing the virtual safety car here at the moment, unfortunately for that. So let's follow back on out in front here right now with King Curb under the VSC. No damage on his car, so he's running quite well out front. A 14.8 second gap between him and Vic. He might just make a big enough gap to actually do a pit stop and still get out back in the lead of this race here by the time he is finished with that gap that he's building there. Now we are on about lap 22 right now of 39 going on in this race. Vic still now running in 2nd, Marcus now running 3rd, Minimir still 4th, Santi still 5th, Ethan still chasing him there in 6th, but of course Santi has now caught up to Minimir out in front of him. So it's now a 3-way battle going on for P4 between them. I think Santi is starting to catch much more up to Minimir out in P4. He wants to get that position up. I don't think he wants to keep having Ethan chasing him around the track. So let's see how much longer that's going to go on for. As you can see, the gap is very close between all 3 of them. So this is a 3-way battle going on for P4 in the race, and potentially maybe even P3. But that's going to be a bit dependent upon Vic and Marcus out front. Marcus there running 18 laps on those mediums. Vic running 21 laps on those mediums so far. Does show us how much of a potential those tires do have. And we have Santi pushing for an overtake here right now at the exit of that tunnel section. And looks like he might be able to get it. And does get it up. So Minimir is down to 5th. Ethan is still running behind there in 6th. He's going to try to get past Minimir here right now. Let's have a look on board with him if he's going to be able to do that as they get on through. So he does need a pretty good gap to actually do this with. That was quite a bit risky there with Santi, but still he actually got that done without any damage on either cars. There might have been some minor contact, but still not enough to cause any sort of incident. That was actually a pretty good overtake, so got to give it to him for that. getting a really good overtake done, and that was quite difficult, especially in that section of the track. But it is one of the portions of the track that you can easily get an overtake done in, but you have to be a bit strategic about it. We got Ethan trying to go on the inside and get him around. He gets up into P4 behind Santi. He's not letting him get away. He's going to chase him around all the way up to the front of the grid. And it's now going to be a fight between the two of them for the final podium position in this race once Ethan is able to close back the gap, which is now 1.8 seconds. He lost a bit of time running behind Minimir here, but he's going to try and catch back up. And I think that gap is going to come down pretty quickly between the two of them. We're going to see how that works out. Of course, Vic there does have to do a pit stop pretty soon. 22 laps on those medium tires. He's going to have to do a pit stop at some point. We'll see how that's going to work for him. But so far, 24 laps into this race, and we got 15 out of 20 drivers left, and it is the Monaco Grand Prix, so can't be that surprising for us here right now. Gap is now up to about 2 seconds, 2.2 seconds between Ethan and Santi here, so that gap is starting to go away just a bit. Out in front, we got our gap extending now, 19.6 seconds between King Curb and Vic there. A very, very big gap to work with. And King Curb is, as I said, he's trying to leave himself enough room to take a pit stop and still coming back in the lead of this race if he does need to there. They're currently following on with Marcus here right now, and Thunderbill is just in front of him. So Minimir and Thunderbills, both Alfa Romeo, are running just behind of each other, 5th and 6th in this race. Not too bad of a position for them there. Currently Marcus and Quinn still in the top 10 with the Williams still on running. And we're going to try to follow on with the rest of the. Let's have a look at Marcus actually. He's starting to make the gap start to drop under a second here right now. It's about 9/10, going and coming just a bit. Running in 7 behind Thunderbills. Let's see if he's able to get a position up. Ethan is starting to gain some time. He's gained about 5/10 so far on Santi there. So he's gaining time and catching back up right now. That battle is going to be on back pretty soon by the time we get closer to the end of the race there. And let's see if he's going to be able to get that overtake done before the race comes to a close on lap 39. But as it is right now, this race is going actually pretty well, I would say, compared to most races we've done for a Monaco Grand Prix. We've had some pretty horrible races on Monaco. We've had some very exciting races as well, and I think this is classified as one of those exciting races. With 15 drivers still remaining on in the grid and only 5 out at this point in the race, it's still quite interesting to see how that's going on. We got battles going on up and down the track, and most of the time going through here, so it has been quite an interesting session. We got Marcus and Thunderbill still fighting it off for 6th place here right now. The gap is very close. You would expect that Marcus will be able to get by on a regular track, but on Monaco, very, very difficult to do this, so they do have to be a bit careful about that. And he's getting a much better run now. He's going to take it here right where Santi tried it. Oh, and he's out of the session. He put the car a little too close to the barriers and kind of broke the entire left suspension on the front, and that car is done for. It is out of the race. Unfortunate for Marcus. He was about to get that overtake done pretty cleanly, and went a little bit too much on the inside. I'm not sure if there was any contact that caused that to happen to him there, but unfortunately that's going to be a full safety car, as that car is blocking the track there where the cars have to get around, so they're gonna have to do a full safety car for that one there. We're gonna have pit stops after happening here right now. Let's see who's gonna be jumping into the pits. Ethan already back into the pits, Minimir into the pits as well, and they're taking full advantage of this and getting their final pit stops done in this race. Of course, we know that King Curb might have to do a pit stop. He definitely will be getting back the lead of the race when he does that pit stop. Big of a gap that he has. He might want to take that pit stop right now in terms of just waiting until the safety car is open, because that's gonna definitely cost him time. And I think he might be doing it here right now. Let's have a look. And no, actually, he's going to continue on in the race. He's not going to do it at this point. Maybe he's running another lap before doing it. We'll see how that works out. But I'm not sure what's going to happen with his strategy. But I would think he would have actually chosen to take a pit stop, maybe go onto the soft tires at this point and then go to the end of the race on that, because he has a 28-second gap, the Vic behind, which I think is much... it's quite enough of a gap to actually do this. He would have been able to get back out in front, or at least even to second, but Vic would have to take a pit stop here as well. and Vic is taking a pit stop. So with that gap that he had, he would have been able to take a pit stop and gotten back out into the lead race behind the safety car and continue on to the end of the race that way. With this point here right now, I'm not sure what the situation is going to be. Vic is into the pits, doing his pit stop, going on to the soft tires. He's doing, I think he saw a penalty there as well. He's getting back out on track right now, and Santi gets up ahead of him. Santi's done 15 laps on his tires. Are they going to push to the end of the race on the current tires that they're on? It is quite possible at this point. So definitely seems like it's going to be possible, because we did have Vic just pull off quite an amazing feat on those medium tires. So they're probably looking at that aspect of it here right now and trying to decide what to do in terms of their race strategy. But between King Curb and Santi here, both running 15 laps on those mediums, let's see what the strategy play is going to be, because they're now holding on to P1 and P2 in the race. Thunderbills is now P3 in this race, and he's done 13 laps on his medium so far. Vic has come back on fresh soft tires. We got Sanders there now running P5 in this race. We got Quinn now running 6. Minimir now running 7. Ethan back on fresh mediums running into 8 in the race. And Slowpoke down to 9th. Kirby there running 10. 20boy 11. C in 12. And Vettel there running 13th. Oxy is going to be moving up to 14th after he gets past that incident with Marcus there. He's about 3 minutes behind in terms of race time there at the moment. Now let's have back a look at penalties as we're on it here right now under the safety car and see what's happening on track. And so far it looks like C there and King Curb, our race leader, is the only 2 cars without penalties on the grid here right now, which is going to be a bit interesting to see how that works out in terms of finishing positions for the race there as well. RC now getting another 5-second penalty. So you have only 2 drivers so far without any penalties as we have it. In terms of position changes, it looks like Minimir has gained 10 positions, and Vic there still out back into 4th on the grid has gained 12 positions in this race so far. So if he continues with that as it is there, which he might definitely on those soft tires, he does have to be a bit careful going to the end of the race though. It's going to be quite interesting to see how that works out. And I think what's happening here right now is that King Curb and Santi are looking, oh, and King Curb does his pit stop. He's back out about a second in front of Santi here right now. So he's done his pit stop and still got her back into the lead of the race. So he did what he wanted to do, one more lap. He just wanted to get one more lap done on those old tires before going on to a fresh set of tires. And it worked out pretty well for him. So he's gotten back into the lead. Of course, Santi here now, 16 laps done on these medium tires. Because what I was going to suggest is that they're just looking at, they're going to be finishing off the safety car probably at the end of lap 28 or 29 and have about 10 laps more to do on the current tires that they're running on, which is what they were going to try to push on through the end of the race for. So let's see what the strategy play is going to be with that and how that's going to work out for these guys here right now, but still running under the safety car on lap 28 of 39 in the Monaco Grand Prix right now. Has been such an interesting session, I gotta say, from this aspect coming forward. Okay, so let's see what else has been happening in this race. So now Santi has done 17 laps on the tires. We're on lap 29 right now of 39. That leaves us about 10.5 laps more of racing to go here. So we're going to be ending up the safety car here on this current lap. I assume we will. We'll wait on the notification from race control about that. But we'll be ending off with that with lap 29. So we're going back racing on lap 30. That gives us about a full 10 laps of racing remaining in the race. We're going to see how that final 10 laps is going to go. I think it's going to be a little bit intense as well, with gaps closing off between cars as it is there right now. Sanders still about a few seconds to catch back up to the rest of the grid here right now, but I think he's running in a bit of traffic as well, so might have to hold on for that. Okay, so let's see. I think I didn't really pay attention to see if we're about to go back racing here or not, but it does look like we have the safety car is heading off into the distance there, getting back into the pit lane. And collision happening down in the back of the track there, having some penalties handed out for that as well. So not only one driver in the race without any penalties, and that is our race leader here, King Curb. And let's see if we can take it all the way to the end of the Monaco Grand Prix without getting a penalty in this race. And we're back racing here again. Let's see how that restart is going. Santi and Vic, a pretty close gap between the two of them. King Curry is getting away very well out front. Minimir and Sander here, very close off gap. Ethan running just behind him. That Vic getting past Santi there for second place. I think the two of them are fighting each other for that position. So Santi is now down to third. That soft tire strategy is working pretty well for Vic in terms of getting out as another position. He's now going to be, and we got Minimir getting a bit of contact with the wall. Ethan gets up into fifth place because of that incident there with him. He might have taken some damage on that car. Actually, no, it does look like he's okay, but just a minor contact with the wall, and Ethan gets a place up quite easily. So he's up to 5th on the grid there right now. He's going to pushing on through as much as he can. On lap 30 right now, we are up 39 as we got finished with that safety car there. And Vic running pretty well out front. 1.7 seconds is a gap to King Kerr, but he seems to be losing a tenth or two as Ethan is pushing on through for another position. Gets past Sandy here. Sorry, Sanders there up into P4. He's going to chase after Santi right now in P3, trying to get on the podium position if he can. We're going to have a look at the penalties to see how possible that's going to be at this point in the race, but he's running pretty well. Gained 2 positions within the last lap after the safety car restart, and is running quite well, I would say. Now out front, King Curb is getting the fastest lap in the race as it is there right now. We're having a look at Santi here and Ethan, 6 tenths between the two of them. And of course, Santi on very old tires right now, 19 laps on those mediums. Ethan on very fresh tires with 6 laps only done on them. So he's going to have a much better advantage of trying to get around the Haas of Santi here right now. Let's see if he's able to do that though. Santi is going to make it a bit difficult for him. Not going to give him an easy time, just letting him get that overtake done. And down behind of them, we do have Sanders and Minimir still coming at it there. They're fighting off our position as well. Well, let's keep an eye as we're about to go to the end of the zone section. Let's see what's going to happen here. And Ethan's going to pull it on the inside and has to hold it back. I think he barely avoided damage from Santi's car there. That was actually a little bit dangerous there, but still... good driving from both of them. Thunderbolts is out of this race, and I'm not sure if he retired in the pits. No, I don't think he retired in the pits. It's happened on track down there, close to the end of sector 2. It has happened, and TRS is now back online. That car should be easily cleared off the track. Hopefully, there's a runoff area there to just pull that car in. And we're still racing here right now. Ethan getting a very good run on Santi. Let's see if he's able to get by. Minimir and Sanders down in the back here having a good run as well. We're gonna have a look at them as we can see Ethan and Santi out in front of that battle there going on. Trying to have a look at Minimir to see if he's able to catch up here right now. Ethan getting a good run. Let's see if he's able to get by just a tenth behind Santi's car right now. He's trying to push it on the inside, but not enough of a gap to go on. He has to just hold it back onto the racing line. And this is some intense racing going on right now because I'm just wondering how they're avoiding damage with each other at this point in the race. Because he has to be very quick on that brake there just to avoid the car going to the back of Santi's Haas. Out in front, 4.5 seconds is a gap between Vic and King Curb. So King Curb is still gaining time off of Vic, even though he's running on the soft tire. Santi's still running here at 8. And Ethan trying to run the outside on this occasion to get it around. Contact between the two cars, and Ethan looks like he gets the position up and almost losing the rear of the car as well as Santi gets it back. Fights it, is not giving up the position. It doesn't look like either of them took any damage. I'm not sure as yet if they took damage, but they're still running. This seems like some debris that flew off somebody's car there. I'm not sure if that was off Santi's car or not, because I see both end plates are still on the Mercedes of Ethan's car there right now. Quite intense as we get close off to the end of this race here. See out to the race down in the back there as well. So that leaves with about 12 drivers in the Monaco Grand Prix right now going down to the end. But did expect something like this to happen as the safety car happening down this close to the end of the race. And Ethan once again trying to get by Santi's car. This is going to be very difficult for him because Santi is fighting it back, defending quite well. And I think this is going to go further down to the end of this. He's pushing on the inside once again. Let's see if he's able to get it done. 2 cars fighting behind of them as well. It looks like he might actually get the overtake done this time. Santi has some contact with the wall. And I think he did lose an end plate of the previous battle that the previous encounter that the two of them had on the previous lap there. So finally, Ethan gets up into 3rd place in the race. Santi is now down to 4th. And we're having a look at Sanders here, who's trying to catch up to him. see how that battle is going on through. So far, quite interesting. And down in the back here, we got 20 Boy and Slowpoke fighting it out for a position. The Racing Point is definitely trying to get by the next Mercedes on the track, which is for 20 Boy there. And he's trying to catch up to Quinn as much as he can. Indy Williams out in front of him. So let's see how that's going to go. We're going to put penalties on here at the moment, and we can have a look at least at what's happening with that. And quite interesting as we can have a look out front. 6 seconds the penalty time that has with Vic there. Ethan has 9 seconds. Santi has 10 seconds. So there might be finishing, yes, as it is there right now. We got Slowpoke into the pits here at the moment. Going on with Minimir chasing after Sanders for 5th position in the race. And we'll see how that going because Sanders is chasing off Santi there right now for that position. Ethan has gained about 2.9 seconds. 3 seconds now after getting past Santi there. But he does have damage on that front wing. So that definitely is going to affect him quite a bit in the race here. Let's go on to see what's happening here. So a three-way battle going on for P4 in the race as Ethan is getting away pretty well out front, even with a 9-second gap. Sorry, a 9-second penalty. He's going to get off pretty well. Williams and Alfa Romeo fighting it up. That is I think is Minimir and Quinn here fighting it off for that position. Getting quite heated between the two of them. And quite a lot of 6-second penalties as we go on down the grid, which I think everyone might be, I think most of these cars might be holding their finishing positions by the time we get to the end of the race. We're on lap 35 right now, 39, but it's getting quite interesting going closer down to the end. Minimir is the one we're trying to focus on right now to see what's happening with this midfield battle on track. Out in front is going quite well with the guys out front. King Curb has about 14.7 seconds lead off of Vic running in second in the Red Bull, and Vic has about 3.9 second lead off of Ethan there. Ethan has a 6.3 second lead off of Santi, and he's trying to hold on to 4th position to go to the end of the race right now because Sanders is trying to get by him right up to the rear of that Haas, and he doesn't want to take a pit stop at this point, even with a damaged front wing, because he's going to lose so much more positions if he does do that. He's going to try and hold them off for as long as he can, going to the end of the race. About 4.5 more laps he has to do this for if he wants to keep P4 in this race, and he might lose a position at his one position. And we got a bit of contact with the Williams down here at the back, and that is with Quinn there losing the car. He's taking some damage on the front wing as well, and he's going to get back going here right now in P8. I'm not sure exactly who the contact was with. Santi continues on in P8 right now. I think it was Quinn running in the middle of this battle here. So Sanders now behind Santi, running still about 5 tenths behind. Minimir another 4 tenths behind here. And let's see how that's going to get on through as we continue to the end of the race. But still getting very heated as we continue on with this racing here. I think that last safety car really is what caused all of this to happen, because everyone got back bunched up on the track and very close up with each other. Very close gap again once with Santi here and Sanders. And we can see the the Alfa Romeo of Minimir trying to get in on this battle as well as 20 Boy in the Mercedes down in the back. So at least 4-way battle going on for P4 in this race, and this is going to go all the way to end. Currently it's much more close between Santi and Sanders here, as Sanders is trying to let's get on board with him and see if he's able to push it on through. He's going to have to force his way through some way or the other, and it's going to have a very difficult time. As we see, the battle with Santi and Ethan went on for quite a number of laps in this race before Ethan was able to get by. So it does show us that Santi is very good at defending his position on track, especially using the circuit to his advantage here, because Monte Carlo is quite an interesting circuit to drive on. It's very hard to overtake here, so it's much easier to have cars stay behind of you and try to defend as much as you can. You just got to know the exact points at which to try and defend against a car, and they will have to hold back or take damage if they do push on through still. But Sanders here running without any damage. Santi's car does have quite a bit of damage on it, on that front wing, and Sanders is still going to have a hard time to get by, as we can see here right now. Oh, so a bit of contact between Sanders and Santi's car, and Sanders takes damage off of that there, so he's gonna have to see what is gonna happen there right now. And they're going side by side down the pit straight. Let's see if he's gonna be able to get by. Minimir and Sanders fighting it out through just behind, and the Racing Point taking a bit of cut off just at the side there. That is Slowpoke down at the back here in 9th, and it's going quite interesting before we get off to the finish here right now. We got a blue flag. I think there's Slowpoke running between the grid. That's where we have the blue flags there happening right now. But Sanders and Minimir here still fighting it this off through. 13 seconds is the gap right now between Ethan and Santi. And Ethan is getting about 3/10 behind Vic coming to the final 2 laps into this race. So that's going to be a fight going on for second place there right now. And it's a 6-second and 9-second gap between the two of them. But even though Ethan might not be able to keep that position, I think he's still going to fight for it to get across the line in second place. And it's going to be quite an interesting battle if that does happen there. We're going to keep an eye on that as it continues on, because it looks like that's what's happening up front. Let's have a look on board right now. I'm not sure if Vic has any damage on that Red Bull. Let's have a look. And he does have some damage on the Red Bull. He's missing an end plate, which is going to give Ethan some sort of advantage here right now to try and get by. He's using DRS and whatever overtake he has to put down the pit straight on lap 38 and going. Has less than 2 laps to get this overtake done if he wants to get across the line in P2. And might somehow be able to do this, but he needs to force Vic into getting another penalty to even off the playing field here right now. And let's see if that's going to work at any point or not. So getting very, very close after the end of this race. Out in front, King Curb has led an incredible race. He's 23 seconds clear of Vic and Ethan here. So he has absolutely nothing to worry about. Even if he takes some damage in that car, he can take a pit stop and just cruise down the track on the final lap and still get around here. But let's see what's happening down in the back. I think Kirby's fallen down quite a few positions, and so has Quinn there, all the way down to 9th on the grid there right now. Still a bit of a battle going on between Sanders and Twinny Boy in the next Mercedes down in the back right now. But keeping an eye on the closest battle we have here between these two for second place in the race. And that is Ethan getting another penalty. That's 12 seconds of penalties right now. That's going to hurt his race. He's not going to be able to finish and keep second place, but he does get the position up. He gets the overtake done, moves up into second on the grid, and our race leader has just entered into the final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix, and a lot of drama happening down at the end of this race here right now. So Ethan up into second place, Vic down to third. Of course, the gap is going to be a 6-second gap is what he needs to in order to keep that win. And with just a final lap that we're on right now, almost impossible for him to get a gap unless Vic makes some sort of significant mistake down at the back of him there right now. So he will be still finishing third on the podium here with the penalties that we do see in place there. We'll see how that works out as everyone gets across the line. But quite an interesting race this has been so far. So let's see how the gap is going to work. He's going to build a bit of a gap as he gets around the final lap here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep him in second place. Once he crosses the line, he will be able to cross the line second. But what an incredible battle, getting all the way up back on the second place in this race has not been easy, especially on a track like Monaco. So he is quite good here, just even avoiding damage and driving the car with some minor damage on it has gotten up pretty well. Vic still will be getting back his second place after they get across the line, but he will cross the line third and go across there. So King Corb across the line already, takes the race win here for the Monaco Grand Prix. We got Ethan about to get across the line here very soon as he gets around sector 3, the final 2 turns, and he's going to put that Mercedes across the line in second, but will not be able to keep it, unfortunately, because of a 12-second penalty. He got a 3.1 second gap going, needed another lap or so, and might have actually gotten that. So Vic gets second place in the race on the podium. Ethan has to take third on the podium. Santi coming around with a 10-second gap here, a 10-second penalty here, sorry, right now. But of course, it might be losing this position to Minimir, who only has a 6-second penalty and a 1.3-second gap. So let's see how that's going to work. Because Santi goes across the line P4, Minimir goes across P5, takes away P4 from Santi. He's down to P5 now. And Twinny Boy now takes away P5 because of penalties as we play out. We're going to have a look at everything as we go on to the end. So Twinny Boy takes 5th, Santi takes 6th, Sanders takes 7, Slowpoke is going to take 8, Quinn takes 9, Vettel takes 10, Kirby takes 11, RC is going to take 12 on the grid as we have it here right now. Now that was actually quite an exciting race for the Monaco Grand Prix. Gotta say, that was some very, very interesting battles that we had happening there, especially coming down to the end of the race. And Minimir takes driver of the day on this, and congratulations to him on that. And really not too bad of a race, I gotta say. That was actually pretty interesting. And yep, Ethan did start P2, going all the way down at the back of the grid to P17 and fought his way back up to P2. Of course, had to take P3 at the end of it, but that was quite an interesting battle, I gotta say. This is the second time I've seen Ethan do an incredible race at Monaco. The last time he drove with a broken front wing and still finished in a very good position. So let's have a look at our final finishing results for this session here, guys. And really, that was quite something to watch. And very much more interesting here, King Kirk takes P1 in this race. He takes a race win for the Monaco Grand Prix and the fastest lap, 1:11.3 for race pace time. Quite interesting, quite incredible. Vic crosses the line third but takes second place because of Eaton getting a 12-second penalty and only a 3-second gap between the two of them. Eaton crosses the line second but has to take third on the podium, and still an incredible race between the two of them, but good battle between them going to the end. Minimir takes fourth and gets driver of the day. 20 Boy takes fifth, Santi 6, Sanders 7, Slowpoke 8, Quinn finishes 9, Vettel finishes 10, Kirby finishes 11, Arksy 12, Thunderbills 13, C 14, Marcus 15, Virex 16, Banter Braden 17, Black Shadow 18, KTFO 19, and Codfish, fourth driver to go to the session. Unfortunately, he finishes 28 on the grid. But what a race that was, guys. So thank you guys for everyone who's joined onto the live stream session to watch these guys race here, and for everyone who's going to watch this video afterwards, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you guys leave a like on this video. Really do appreciate when you guys do that, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new. We have so many races going on during the course of the week, so thank you guys once again for joining us on here, and I will see you guys on the next live stream, which I'm not sure might actually be until Wednesday, because I might not be able to do our F2 race tomorrow. I'm not sure. I just found out of that just before I got on the session here, just because of my work time. So we're gonna have to see how that works out. I'll know in a few hours time. I'll be posting that in the Discord. And once again, guys, link in the video description to get onto our channel Discord, have a chat with our drivers and whatnot. So very interesting race. Enjoyed watching that very much. Hopefully the guys enjoyed that. So thanks to all of the guys who raced in the session there. Very good racing for everyone. And once again, thank you guys for joining on to our stream, joining on to the video. Please make sure you leave a like, subscribe on the channel if you're new. We'll see you guys on the next live stream, which most likely will be Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. GMT time with PGLF1 Wednesday division, guys. So thank you guys once again.